On yet another road trip, Amrutam family visited Chitrakoot, a historical and religious town in Madhya Pradesh, and met Dr. Saraswati Markus, or Saraswati Maa, as her loved ones call her. She was born as Robin, and her name, Saraswati, was given to her on a spiritual expedition to India in 2007. Saraswati Ma is a herbalist who practices Chinese medicine, is a Dao Flow instructor, and a yogi. Let's listen to Dr. Saraswati's story in her own words.
I was born Robin Eisen, which I came later to know that last name is Austrian, which means iron. So there's something very strong, a kind of determination. Well, it was 2007, I know exactly. It was 11 years ago I came to India for the first time. And I always say I came to India, but for the longest time I only went to one place because I wasn't really coming to India. I was coming to see my guru, Sri Neem Baba Maharaj. So I would come to the mountains, the Himalayas, and go to his ashram. And he dropped the body 40 years ago, but on my first time to India, I was given the name Saraswati. And so that's who I am. I am Saraswati, and I was given that name by Sri Siddhima, and it's our Indian mother. And apparently she knew a lot about me that I didn't know about myself. I wanted to deepen into the kind of the yogi environment of that shanti place that I've only really felt in a few environments, but there's one very predictable environment that I feel that way in, and that's in yoga. The science of yoga is a clear method. It's a step-by-step path. It's a tried and true tradition. I mean, I like to think of myself as a classics girl. You know, I don't want to study something that somebody came up with yesterday. Maybe they channeled and, okay, great. But if we're talking about something 5,000 years later, people are still talking about it and doing it, this is meaningful. These are the traditions I like to study. Each element needs to be balanced, so that's kind of nice. So we say it's more of a noticing. So it's rather than a doing, it's a noticing. So markers of a healthy life, how about that? So you can start to notice when you're in balance and when you're moving away from balance. That's actually the first step in healing. It's not what to take, it's knowing you're out of balance, right? And that's the first step, is recognition. So that's my first tip. And that leads you into yoga and mindfulness and present. Good sleep. And 7 hours seems to be the hot spot number for in even research. And good appetite, not overeating, not undereating. Best to try to keep your blood sugar as stable as possible. Movement, breath and movement, so prana. So we have to move the body in whatever way you can, even if you're completely unfit, and you can roll your neck with breath and focus. Those three things, the triad method. Move the head back with breath, move the head forward with breath. As you focus on the feeling, well, that's yoga or that's qigong. Those three things linked together: movement, focus, and breath. And that moves your prana all over your whole body. So those of you who feel like yoga's behind you, that's not true. It's not the cult of flexibility. It's a cult of freedom. And then a sixth one that is comprehensive of all the elements is to not have pain. And that's a very interesting one, because much of the literature talks about pain as, you know, part of the human experience, and then it shows up as the 5 elements in this very particular kind of when Shakti recoalesces in our own, with our imprint, it gives us our constitution, you know, like that, and to sort of our elemental configuration. Number 1 is good sleep, 7 hours. Number 2, regular meals. Think about regularity and rhythm. Eating all the foods, colors from the spectrum, and that's a good way to get all of your vitamins. So good sleep, good eating, good exercise, moving the prana, circulating the emotions, noticing an emotional theme, and the fifth one is healthy sex drive. And there's different stages, young person who's 20 is going to have different than someone who's 80, so we have sort of a way to kind of calculate that. And then the sixth one is to overall have no pain, body, heart, or mind.
Okay.
Yeah? I have a few messages for spiritual people or yoga enthusiasts or people who are wanting to adopt a healthy lifestyle. First of all, it's not easy. If you're looking for an easy thing, just stop this and do something else. Because ultimately, it's my opinion that people don't really like to change. They want to be different. They want to be the different person, but they want to take the small, every day, every moment steps that it takes required to change. So that's the main. So once we can confront that it's not going to feel good. So then that brings us right into the heart of yoga, learning to move. Purification is learning to move away from desire and towards an inner voice of stillness. So doesn't matter, I'm wet, okay, I'll be dry later, or I'm hot, okay, I'll be cool later, or like that. So not so much that kind of desire seeking, but so accept that it's going to be hard. And if it's hard, know that you're on the right track, and it's worth it. And it doesn't take years. Like you start doing something for 1 week, you feel different. Like taking water in the morning or going for 20 minutes of walk or taking some nice herbal tonic or sitting and journaling if you don't know how to meditate and you feel like, oh, I'll never, every time you try, it's just the mind is going, okay, do chant, do an active, do japa, something that you're doing something, not trying to make the mind some dhyan, which is, and then that brings me to Maharaji, Sri Shantanand Swami Babaji. He told us a long time ago, I hear him tell all people all this different sadhana things, but one day I think he said something really right. He said for householders, sadhana is very difficult. He said, try, but maybe the best thing is to focus on being happier people, and to help other people, do seva. I think this is good advice. It takes a real commitment, your whole life, to commit to a life of cultivation. So, yet it happens quickly. You notice the change and you get momentum, you get energy. You feel it's like God sort of giving you like a blessing because you feel it quickly and you get motivated to do it. So don't think about anything besides right now and what you're going to do to get healthier and happier and help people. Okay?